niece who just passed this year. And Dr. Ammerman, who was such an influence in my life and a constant in my life. It's good to see faces like Tommy's that I've known longer than anybody in this room. And I always said, I want to have a friend that will stick with me till we are, I don't want to say old, but and I just thank the Lord that He brought you back to my life and came with some good baggage. So just kidding, not baggage. A lovely Stella who just makes him even a better person. And we are blessed to have each and every one of you in our church, in our family. I was telling Sister Jessica, did you see Bunny Elson, who also passed away, and her husband Alan, our precious, while they're finding that track. Bunny Elson was from New York. She lived in the Catskill Mountains. When she looked out her back porch, all her life she could see the beautiful Catskill Mountains of New York, and it's one of the most beautiful scenes in America. And for some reason, I can't remember how they ended up here in Texas. But when they found the Agreement Center, after having been in a church where the shepherding movement was very strong, and I don't know if y'all heard, that movement was where the shepherds had, you couldn't buy toilet paper without asking your leader or the person above you in the shepherding movement. And they went through quite a bit of abuse. But when they came to our church, of course, we just loved on them and opened up our hearts and fell madly in love with that little old lady and her husband, who was from Great Britain. And Judy and I went to England and traveled all over England, Scotland, and Wales, and we saw all the castles of England and with an Englishman, and we had such a wonderful time with Bunny and Alan Elson. But after she began ailing in her later years, her sister and brother-in-law had an apartment there in New York, and they said, we have come to fetch you and to take you back to New York so you can live your days out in New York. And they said, we've completely redone the upstairs. It's got bathroom, it's got kitchen, it's got everything that you will ever need, and you can spend the rest of your days there. And she said to me, she said, but doctor, I had to tell them, I cannot go, I can never go, because there's no Agreement Center and there's no Dr. Thomas. And she died the week of Thanksgiving. And she said to me, she said, you have no idea how much I love you. She said, don't tell my children, but she said, I love you more than my own flesh and blood. And she said, right now, her last card that she wrote us, she said, my heart is exploding with love. And I had never heard that someone express their love, that she cared and loved so much. And I'm just so thankful to Yahweh that He has brought us people in our lives. And when I look back, regardless of who's left with a right heart or a wrong attitude, regardless of bad memories, I have nothing but good memories. I always sit back and I go, you know what? They can try to say what they want, but they can never take away the laughter and the joys and the tears. And that's what I choose to remember. And I'm just so thankful that out of the purging, if you will, that's taken place through the years, that this is the cream of the crop. You guys are the best. Even after losing the majority of my family members, to have my May, to have my Raquel, and their husbands who are both supportive of our ministry and our church. And Jeremiah's got family in New York who say to him all the time, y'all move up to New York, and Raquel said, I made it very clear before we got married, I will never move up there. And I enjoyed this afternoon talking with Raquel, because she said, Doctor, or maybe it was yesterday, we were talking about Provision RX. And she was getting excited. She said, "Doctor, if we start making money," she said, "I started thinking about what we can do for our children's church." And she said, "I already told Jeremiah we're moving back to the area so that so I can be the children's pastor and I can do all the things that I have envisioned in my heart." And I do believe that anything is possible.
Yeah.
If one can put 1,000 in flight, two can put 10,000. Then really, I mean, you know what? Some ministries begin at the age where I am right now. Some ministries begin with just a handful of people, just like we began our church. And I believe that no matter where we are in life, that we can truly see the hand of God. And that, just like Brother Lowell was saying, and I kept saying, I believe, I have faith. I mean, I could win the lotto tomorrow, but it would not change what I am. I am a man of God. I am the pastor of this church, and I'm proud to be the pastor. I love doing this. Absolutely love it. I love hearing God on your behalf. And so I'm just thankful to Yahweh that He has knitted our hearts together, and that we are the people of agreement, and that we are a church of worship.
Amen.
That we're just getting in really good practice. And like my song says, "And when this life is over, and I breathe my last breath, when my spirit has crossed over, I still will worship you, and I will worship you forever, and I will worship you all the days of my life." There will be I really believe that I'm going to breathe my last breath here and continue on worshiping the Lord. That's the connection between this life and that life. What we do now, the only thing we will take with us, not money, not even our loved ones, the only thing we will take with us is that worship that's in our heart. The only thing that will cross over into the other life is our worship.
Amen.
And I'm excited about these next few years and the great things that this church is going to do. Because we've done some great things with some goats among us. Think what we can do. You know what they do with goats? They roast them. But think what we can do with sheep that are willing to follow the shepherd. And we're gonna follow our shepherd. Amen.